Well, hello friends, and happy hump day to you. I hope you're having a great Wednesday today, and I hope you're believing God. He's going to do great things all day long. Welcome to today's edition of Take 5. Well, we're talking about the life of Joseph for some time now, and right now we're dealing with the message, Forgetful and Fruitful. We're pulling that from Genesis 41 that says, before the year of the famine came, Joseph had two sons. The firstborn was named Manasseh, and that means God has made me forget all of my hardship and all of my father's house. The name of the second was Ephraim, and that means God has made me fruitful in the land of my affliction. And so that's where we're getting the title from, Forgetful and Fruitful. This week we're just dealing with the subject of forgetting. Things that we need to learn to forget and put behind us. The Hebrew use of the word is totally different than our everyday use of the word. When we use the word forget from day to day, it's something we didn't mean to do. When the Hebrews used the word, it was something they absolutely meant to do. And so that's what we've got to learn to do. Learn how to put some things behind us. A couple of the definitions are this: to purposefully put something behind you, to have memories of the past but not bound by its restraints, and to acknowledge the past while turning away from it with no intention of ever going back. And so that's what forgetting meant to the Hebrews. It's something they did on purpose. They put things behind them so those things would not hinder their forward progress. And there are things in life that we're just going to have to learn to do. I wish we could erase them, mark them out, wipe them out as though they never existed. But we can't do that, so we have to learn to deal with the memories, acknowledge them, realize them, but learn to put them behind us so that we can move forward with God. Yesterday, we talked about learning how to forget past failures. Today, I want to talk to you about learning how to forget hindering relationships. If we don't finish this part today, we'll talk about it some more tomorrow. Relationships that hinder us. These are things that we have to forget about. We have to put them behind us and move forward, or we will not accomplish what God intends for us to accomplish. There are just some people and some circumstance that involve people in our life that we need to move beyond so that we can move on with God. Three different circumstances that I want to deal with concerning hindering relationships. The first one's probably the biggest, and that's the people that have hurt us. Everybody that I know, myself included, has been hurt somewhere along the way. Somebody's offended you, somebody's hurt you, somebody has done their best to destroy you, some of you anyway, but everybody I know has been hurt. And so that means everybody that I know is going to have to learn to put these relationships that hurt you and may hurt you often, you may have to learn to put those behind you. God does not intend for anyone to be in a continually controversial or violent relationship. Whether it be physically, emotionally, or spiritually, God does not intend for that. Sometimes you've got to go your separate ways. And sometimes for some people to get over the hurt, they're going to have to learn to forget about that relationship and go another way and go on with God. So when you begin to talk about people that have hurt you, the first thing that comes to mind is forgiveness. And forgiveness is something that should be immediate, and it will contribute to your ability to love people biblically. And it's important to understand what it is to love people biblically. You know, when the Bible tells us to love sinners, that means we're to love sinners, but we're not supposed to partake or like the sin that they participate in, right? So we love the person's soul. We love the fact that they're created by God. We love the fact that they have a destiny that could be far beyond their wildest dream, but we despise and we hate the sin that binds them. And we've got to learn to be able to love biblically and disagree with people's lifestyle and even if necessary, stay away from those people's lifestyle. Forgiveness from people that have hurt us it can be kind of difficult because most people are waiting on an apology. Well, let me tell you something. It may not ever come. They may never say, I'm sorry. They may not intend on saying, I'm sorry, but forgiveness on your part should come immediately. That's what Jesus did. Hanging on the cross, he's torn limb from limb. He's in worse shape than anybody has ever been physically. And hanging on the cross, he says, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing. Not one person asked for forgiveness, but he gave it. And that's what he's telling us to do. That is the first step to you begin to putting hurtful relationships behind you, is learning how to forgive. When you say forgiving, then the next word that comes up is forgetting, because we put those two words together, and they should be. But forgetting takes time, and it will require a diligent effort. But the more you learn to forget, again, the easier it is to love that person biblically that has hurt you. So when you're hurt, you give forgiveness immediately, and you give it as much as you have to. And then you learn to begin to put the hurt behind you, and you learn to forget it, and you move forward. And in some instances, if there can be no reconciliation, my friend, you put that person out of your life and you go on with God. You forget it, you put it behind you, you forgive, and you move on with God. Because neither forgiveness nor forgetfulness equals complete trust. Trust has to be earned, and sometimes it'll never be regained. Some people have been hurt so bad, hurt as a child, molested sexually and misaligned emotionally. Some people have been hurt so bad. Those that have been offended in their marriage vows, adultery or spousal abuse or whatever the case might be. Sometimes trust is never regained. And I'm here to tell you, regardless of what people say, that's okay. That's okay. As long as you know you have forgiven them with a clean heart, move on, my friend, and begin to put those things that have hurt you behind you and move on with God. He's got something in store for you that's beyond anything you can ever imagine. So I don't want you to get hung up here. This is all we're going to talk about today. We'll come back tomorrow and talk about hindering relationships and learning how to forget them. I got two more things I want to tell you. Anyway, we'll come back tomorrow and talk about that. But today, I really, those of you that have been hurt, I want you to forgive, and I want you to begin to forget. You'll never erase that person's face out of your mind. You'll never erase the event out of your mind. I know you wish you could. If I could wipe it out, I'd wipe it out for you along with some of my own. But we can't do it. But what we can do is learn to put it behind us and move on and walk with God. And if necessary, turn away from that person if you have to and walk with God, because, hey, after all, He's probably better company anyway, right? Well, hey, I got to get out of here. I thank you for being with me today. I look forward to being with you tomorrow on Thursday's edition of Take 5. Until then, God bless you. Have a great day, my friend. Hey, let's learn to forgive and forget. Let's put some past hurt and some past relationships that have hurt us behind us, and let's walk on with God. He has great things in store for your future.